Alrighty, hey traders, hello everybody. So it's Sunday morning for me right now, and I've just been going through some screenshots and I've been going through some analysis today, and I want to do this video for you because I'm seeing a lot of really big mistakes that a lot of people are making when getting involved with these markets, especially lately, especially this year. When it comes to the way that people are approaching the markets, but the way that people are trading the markets, and the phone calls that I've been getting, man, it's devastating to see that so many people did so well the last few years, but this year, as you know, the market's pulled back and things have happened, and it's causing a lot of people to stress out. So if this year has been a struggle for you, and if your goal really is to do really well out of trading, then this is going to be the most important video you'll ever watch, because what I'm about to share with you today is really a very simple template, the right thinking around your trading, to getting ahead in the markets, and how you should be thinking about your trading from a 10,000 foot view looking at the markets, and why I believe most people don't do well out of trading. And once again, I'm seeing it every single week on my coaching call, on my calls that I do. I'm seeing it time and time and time again. So if you've been struggling with your trading, then this is, and you really want to do really well from trading, then this is going to be one of the most important videos you are going to receive. So one of the really big things I want to sort of start off with this video here for you is one of the biggest myths, and also the biggest wrong thinking about these markets and about how to actually generate a good income from trading, is they're going to the markets and they're treating it. They're looking for an income like they would from a job, meaning they make $2,000 a week from their job. So I'm looking to make $2,000 a week for my trading, so therefore I don't have to work anymore. And that I want to start off with that level there, because that is the wrong thinking. And having that wrong thinking even before opening up your charts and looking for trades, your thinking is wrong. And the reason why that is so important for you is because what happens in the markets is we have an edge, right? There's an edge to trading, and on the back of that, most people are not using any edge, right? They're just getting in based off what they think. Like right now, they think, oh, is gold going to go up? If so, let me trade it. That's not the way professional trading is all about. Makes sense? Professional trading is about using some sort of edge in the markets. Like, what's your edge? It's basically called a trading setup, a trading pattern that we look for. That's what traders do. Unfortunately, most people don't have any edge. They're just getting in based off what they think. I think gold's going to keep going up, so let me get in. You can see how that's the wrong idea for long-term growth there. So most people don't even have an edge in the first place. That's what they're. But what happens is that even when you do start to have an edge, which means all that simply means is just a trading pattern, right? A trading pattern, a trading setup, and one of the setups that the pictures that that I go through here is I've got many sort of pictures here and so on and so forth of these different sort of things here of trades here. But the one thing I really want to start off with is that with that edge of yours, okay, if you do have an edge, even if you don't have an edge, then you are completely screwed, because you're at the whim of the markets and you're thinking. And guess what? Most of the time what we're thinking is actually not right. For us to have an edge of doing well this year, we need to have an edge that's going to do well most of the time. But what most people do, or what I find that a lot of people do in the markets, even if they do have some sort of edge, which again, most of you guys don't have any edge, you're just like, I'm going to go buy the mining stocks right now because I think it's going to go up. And me, most of my trading is I'm trading this because it's the trading pattern that I trade. And I know the trading pattern, as long as I stick to it, most of the time it's going to generate a profit. See the differences there? That's the differences between success in the markets and not success. Because if you get into gold right now and it goes to 5,000, you beauty, you got lucky, right? That's what's called a thinking trade. I thought this was going to happen and it did happen. I'm a legend. I'm a hero. And then you go apply that exact same thinking and thought analysis to a next trade and you end up blowing yourself out of the market. Big ski curve for you, for your equity curve, right? So one of the things that sort of helps me do really well, and if you look at this here, this here is my 2024 equity curve for me last year, right? I do have my losses and I do have periods where I don't have much going on. But one of the reasons why I'm showing you this here from my equity curve here is I want to share with you that through trading, through the months and through the years, even though I made a lot of money last year in 2024, a lot of money. And I'm utilizing percentages because I don't want to, if you're just trying to make six figures this year or multiple six figures this year, I don't want to put a large amount of money in front of your face. Say, oh, look at me. That's the reason why I'm just showing you percentages here only now that's a percentages of my entire account through all of 2024. This year, I'm roughly around 40-50% on my entire account this year so far, meaning positive. And again, but I'll be updating my coaching clients with that as that continues on. So far, I'm up about 40-50% for the year. Last year in 2024, this is what my equity curve is from the start to the finish. But the thing is I want to share with you is the reason why it's wrong thinking around the market is because a really good income from trading doesn't come from consecutive weeks. It's not your $100,000 a year income is not going to be $2,000 a week. Meaning, or should I say, that's one of the reasons why, and I'm trying to make sure I really slow down and explain this to you, why most people, and what I had to learn if I actually wanted to do well out of this thing called trading. And one of the things was I need to understand that $100,000 a year in income is not $2,000 a week. Now it is, but how does trading work? Trading in itself, trading in a nutshell, is you might have a few weeks with no trades, and then you might have 1 week where you make $20,000, and then you might have another quiet week, and then you might have a really good month where you make $40,000. And then the next month, you don't make any. There's actually no trades at all. And then the next month, there might have only been 1 or 2 trades, but you only made $5,000. And then the next month, you might have made $20,000. You see the ebbs and flows of what I just went through there. And then at the end of the year, you're like, oh, I just made $100,000 this year. And that's how it works. Now, the reason why I want to say that is, firstly, most people don't have an edge. So that's where most of you guys are going wrong. Secondly, even if you do have some sort of edge, your thinking is wrong. So when the market does go quiet and there's not a lot of opportunities that week, you now start to force it. You rush it, you force it, you get into some bullshit trades, you lose a lot of money, and now you're on the back foot. Why? Because you're saying, I need to have $2,000 this week so I can quit my job. Where the reality of this thing, the markets and trading, is just like that. It's like a UFC, right? I'm going to go watch the UFC today. I'm big UFC. I'm very big into boxing. In fact, I just spent almost 3 hours this morning at the gym this morning doing a lot of boxing, cardio, and also a really big stretching session. So I'm very, very big into boxing. I had a huge boxing session today. And that was 3 hours, by the way, at the gym. It was 2-hour workout and then an hour really big, deep stretching, which I like to do most weekends to make sure I'm very flexible. Anyway, but the purpose of me saying that is what? As a boxer and as a fighter and as a UFC fighter, when do they get paid every single week? No. Well, they do from sponsorships, right? But when do they get paid? Once every 3 months. But once every 3 months or once every 4 months, they might make $5 million. And then at the end of the year, they're like, oh, I just made $20,000. I just made $15 million this year. But I can see that throughout the year, there was only 3 of those times that made the $15 million or the $10 million. You see what I'm saying here, right? This is why we need to be thinking about it. And this is why I always say it's easier. It's so much easier to make $100,000 per year than it is $2,000 a month, right? And so I really want to sort of start off with that template here. Again, I'm not saying you're going to do this here, guys. I've been trading the markets for 20 years, and this is some of the stuff that I'm finding a lot of people are struggling with when it comes to these markets. Firstly, you don't even have an edge. You're just getting in based off what? Oh, I think Amazon's gonna go up. Let me go buy Amazon today. If you're a trader of the markets, you can't be trading like that. What are you doing? Like, do you actually want to be a professional trader? You want to be the top income earners when it comes to, making really good money, to be part of the top few percent who actually do really well out of trading? First thing is you need to have some sort of edge, right? And that's where, if you don't have an edge, that's where you need to go find someone. If it's me, you can check out that free course. I've got a link in the description. Or if it's someone else, you need to have some sort of edge, okay? But then secondly, understand the right thinking that goes into a really good year. Because once you understand that, now you know what it takes to make $500,000 a year. Now you know what it takes to make $1 million a year. $1 million a year income, right, would look something like, oh, I made $500,000 this month, and you might have 2 or 3 months of being quiet. And then the next month you might make $200,000. I'm giving you an example of what that looks like as a 7-figure trader, right? But the thing that I really want to sort of bring you down to now is the next level of people's wrong thinking is, once again, they think they need to be trading every day so they can make a little profit every day so they can make that $100,000. And I want to bring you down to this here. And this here is starting with $1,000. Now, no, you wouldn't have. No, this is starting with $1,000, right? $1,000 trade. Now, to do this, you would have a $5,000 or $10,000 trading account, okay? And what we're looking at is we're looking to put on $1,000 for the trade, and we utilize things like I'm very, very big into options. Like, I buy options. I don't do all funky. I'm a very simple person. I'm a very simple trading system, and I use very simple options, just simply buying them. And I don't use complicated stuff here, right? I keep it really, really, really simple, because right, simple is the best. So in this example I'm trying to share with you, then I'm starting to layer it for you guys, right? Firstly, most people don't have an edge. Secondly, people are having wrong thinking about what actually takes to make $100,000 per year, and what actually that really realistically looks like. And the next level down is that one of the things is people having this wrong thinking is that they think more trades equal income. I need to be trading every single day to make this profit. Where if we can step back, say, okay, what's going to take for me to make 6 figures this year? Even if I only had a $5,000 or $10,000 trading account, this is what we do, right? We go down and say, okay, I'm looking for opportunities that's going to give me the potential of doing a double. What is that? That's 100% return. Now, with options and so on and so forth, that 100% return has happened for me twice this year so far, right? Actually, I'm in a trade right now, and I made 170% return just a few weeks ago, and then I'm in a trade right now that has the potential of doing around 400 to 500% return. It's just an amazing trade. But I'm showing you here a double, right? 1,000 into 2,000 here, which means you put $1,000 down. Now the risk from that, the way that I trade, is if I did $1,000 trade today, my average risk would be about 20 to 30% of that. So I'm risking, on average, between $200 and $300 out of that $1,000. But I'm looking for trading opportunities that's potentially going to give me the double, which is 1 in the 2, 2 in the 4, 4 in the 8, 8 in the 16, 16 in the 32, 32 in the 64, 64 in the 120. Now, the reality is this. Again, I'm trying to get you thinking that you don't need 7 trades a week to make 6 figures, even if you only had a 5 or 10 grand account, right? And the reason why I'm saying this is because back when I went through a divorce myself and I lost everything and I moved into a shared accommodation place, I was there for 2 years and I only had $10,000 to my name. And that was mean $10,000 to live off. So I put $5,000 in a trading account and I started trading, right? And within 2 years, I ended up having well over 6 figures. and then multiple six figures and then seven and well and beyond there, right? But I'm trying to share with you that if you want to have a 6-figure year this year, stop trying to look for opportunities to get in and get out 7 times a day or 7 times a week. Let's step back and wait for those pocket moments that's going to give us a double. Now I say a double because sometimes, just like I've shared with you today, sometimes the trades that you get into are going to run off more than a double, right? So, again, one of my recent trades I got out of, I made 170% return, right? Again, I'm in a trade right now and so on and so forth. But I'm looking for trades that's potentially likely to make a double, right? Now, what is the reality of this? The reality is it's not going to be 7 trades, right? The reality is it's not going to be 7 trades. The reality is it might take you 15 or 20 trades on a reality. Why? You might have some losses in there, which you will probably have some losses in there. Keep your losses small, right? The reality is that some trades are not going to make a double. Some trades might only make you 30, 40%, 50% profit, right? So, but doesn't it make it sound so much more easier to accomplish to say, I'm only maybe 20 trades this year away from 6 figures, even if I started with a $10,000 account? See the right mind frame, right? So when I'm going to the market every day, I'm not like, I have to trade. No, I'm looking for those potentials that do a double. Now, what I just said there under the umbrella goes back to what? Goes back to this here, then now goes back to what are the type of trading patterns and the trading setups that I need to learn. And this takes time, right? It's not just watch a quick video and that's it. It's like, how do I stay focused on one type of amazing setup that most of the time when it appears, I'm going to make a profit, and then we can manage it from there. We don't know how much profit and so on and so forth, right? So there's layers to this. And so the way that I've eventually got out of losing a lot of money all the time and then being lucky for a few months or for a year and then the next year destroying myself is one of the biggest things was that, okay, I don't need, even, and again, I'll say this again, when I went through a divorce, this is well over 10 years ago now, I lost everything again, right? Because I went through a divorce and wife got everything and I moved into a share accommodation place, had $10,000 in my name, I had a mattress on the floor and a computer to continue to trade with, and I didn't even have a car. I had no money coming in. And I had to figure out how to actually get ahead, right? So when it came to my trading, this is when I started to really learn the art of, at that time, I was day trading, which means I was looking for trades every single day. And I was sitting in front of the market, sometimes 6, sometimes 8 hours a day. Looking for opportunities, right? Now what I do is that because I understand this, I just look at the market half an hour per day. And I'm looking to get into opportunities today that I can hold over the next week or 2 or a month, get my double and do that 7, 10, 20 times. And once I understood that, it took me 2 years, but once I really understood this with some mistakes in there as well too, I took my small account of 5 or 10 grand and I grew it to over 6 figures or well over 6 figures. And then you go to another level, right? Then you go to this level here, which is you're only 10 really good trades away from $1 million. So the thing is that what is your 5-year plan? Would it be amazing that by 2030 you had $1 million in your account? Cool. What are you doing right now to start to build that foundation? What is the right foundation? Firstly, understanding this here. You're only 10 really good trades. Now, realistically, what would it be like? It would be 30 really good trades, right? You're going to have some losses in there. You're not going to have some doubles and all that sort of stuff, right? To potentially doing $1 million. Now, I also understand the reality of this is when you start to get these numbers here and these numbers here, having that sort of investment in the markets on one particular trade would freak out a lot of people. So it might take you a lot longer than that. But I'm trying to give you a template here that is it's so much easier to now to think, okay, over the next, say, 5 years, if I actually want to become a millionaire, right, and have $1 million in my trading account over the next 5 years, I'm only potentially 30 really good trades away of doing this. Now I say 30 because I'm giving myself a bit of a lead room, right? There's going to be losses in there. There's going to be trades that don't do a double, and there's going to be trades that I just completely screw up. Like, man, that was a bullshit trade. I shouldn't have taken that, right? There's going to be mistakes in there. Like, we're all human. I do it sometimes as well too, right? But now, how this becomes reality, and this is when I started switching to the right, on the right curve of now doing well, and now I understand the game of trading is not about being lucky, right? Lucky is I'm going to get into gold today because I think it's going to keep going up because of central banks, this and this and this. That's not how this becomes reality, right? This whole template, that's not how this whole template becomes reality. How this whole template becomes reality is these 30 trades must meet the exact system or what I call pattern that's likely to give you that. Now, again, in my free course, I walk you through a lot of this sort of stuff, but I also walk you through the exact trading pattern that I look for to make this become reality, right? So I teach you that, and again, it's in the free course. You can go get access to that. And that's what this whole video is not about, teaching you the exact system, right? Because there's thousands of different systems out there. Now, once I understood these levels here that I'm teaching you now, when I started seeing back, it's like, why am I completely fucking up all the time so much? I spent 5 years, I'm now $250,000 in debt. And at this time, I moved in my mother and father-in-law. I was like, what the fuck is going on? And I'm not swearing at you, I'm swearing at the context. And I guarantee you, so many people thinking this right now. And I hope you can see a lot of things. I hope you can see that I'm doing this video because I'm trying to share with you why a lot of people struggle with the markets. Because again, I'm going to go back to step number one. Most people are not even using an edge to get into the markets. They're like, well, let me go buy Amazon today because I think the AI stocks are pretty good to buy right now. And that's just a thought. Let me go buy gold because I think gold's going to go to $5,000. You may make money, but that's not the proper foundation for you to actually do really well. And then before you know it, how do you start to do $1 million per year in income? And then multiple $1 million per year, right? Because you do know there's people out there that make millions and millions and millions of dollars from trading every year. And the number one thing I'm telling you right now, because especially from my mentor, who I've seen now for over 10 years, my mentor now has made, $1.8 million this year so far, trading. Is he lucky? No. It's just the system, right? He just waits for the system, and then, I think last week he made over $200,000 on me. Actually close to $300,000. Anyway, the purpose I'm trying to say to you here is that most people think, oh, well, I made money on this trade, so I got it right. No, getting it right is whatever this system is for you, right? Whatever this system is for you, you need to stick to it 100% of the time. But then understand that this year, you don't need 7 trades. You don't need 7 trades. I don't need to be trading every single day. If I have a whole month with no trades, but there's no opportunities, guess what? Good, all right? Or should I say, that's just the way it goes. Because I know next month there might be a few opportunities. That makes me, again, if I was starting off smaller and I'm looking at this sort of 7 trades here to 6 figures, I might find a few opportunities that makes me 20K next month if I was starting off small. And then the next month I might make maybe $2,000. You see what I'm saying here, right? It's like so it's not the amount of trades that stops people. And if you think about your trading throughout the year, once I started to understand this here, I'm like, okay, my whole soul focus every single day needs to be, I'm not going to get in based off what I think is going to happen. Trump's doing this, etc. Right? I think central banks are buying gold. Let's go buy gold. Or I think crypto is going to go up. Let me go buy crypto today. Right? So you see how you're not building a foundation, because guess what happens? There's a thing called momentum. And if you're not even starting this process of getting good at what a good setup looks like and building the repetition, the thousands and thousands and thousands of repetitions, which, by the way, when I'm talking about repetitions, I'm talking about developing screenshots after screenshots after screenshots. All these different screenshots here are basically of the same type of setup every single time. And I can go all the way down to, boom, right? This here, and this here, and this here, and this here, and this here as well too, right? All these different types of setups here was an Australian trade. They all basically meet the same type of trading pattern. Now, why do I do this? I've got 200 something slides here, right? Here's another silver, right? Another trade on the stock, right? There's all these different trades that basically meet the exact type of pattern that I'm looking for a trading opportunity, right? Now, again, this whole video is not to teach you the trading opportunity, right? That takes time. Again, I'll teach you all that in a free course, but I'm trying to give you a 10,000 foot view of if you actually want to trade well and become a professional trader, not being lucky, right? You guys that are just getting into all these markets, I'm going to go buy crypto today because I think it's going to go up, or I'm going to short the stock market because I think it's going to go down. The fact is, no one knows. And if you want to have any chance of if you want to have any chance of, for you guys that are just starting out, if you have any chance that you want to make at least 6 figures this year, right? You now know that you're only this here. But once again, how does this become reality? This becomes reality understanding the process, right? And really finding out one really good trading system that most of the time is going to generate a profit. And when it does generate a profit, there's a good high probability chance you're going to do 100%. What did I just say? That means some trades are going to be losing trades, and some trades are not going to give you the 100% return. But if I can find those types of setups and look for 20 of those this year, even 10 of those really high quality setups this year, I have a really high probability of now developing over 6 figures, having 6 figures in my account this year. You see the differences here, right? So no, you don't need 10 trades this month. You need 10 really good trades this year. Factor in some losses, because some of these trades here, and one thing I found, as I said before, is that when I'm talking about a double, some of these trades, like a trade that I recently got out of, you won't do a double 100%, I would do 170% return. The trade that I'm in right now has the potential of doing 500% return. It's just an amazing trade. But I'm trying to give you a 10,000 foot view, and I'm doing this video because I'm trying to share with you the truth about what it really takes to start to get ahead in the markets, and the right thinking, the right template, the right understanding. So a quick review about what we talked about today. The first level up here is most people are trading based off I think, a thought, that they hope, like all this stuff here. And that's what they're doing. They're doing that. And that's the wrong thing to do, right? That's the wrong. You want to be professional markets, it's called a system, it's called a plan. We need to stick to that. That's the first thing. Most people don't have that. The second thing, then the second thing layering down is that with that system, most people are trading way too much. So therefore they think that they're trying to make an income, meaning they're trying to make 6 figures this year, but they're doing it in a way where it's wrong, where they're trying to make $2,000 a week, and that's $100,000 a year. And that's not the reality of the trading. Is not like that, because with your edge and with the system, with the markets, is that some months are going to be really active, a lot of opportunities, and some months are going to be pretty quiet when the market won't present many opportunities, right? And then the next layer down we talked about today is all about how you're only 7 really good trades. The reality is, it won't be 7 trades. It will be, 10 good trades and so on and so forth. But 10 good trades, this here is only going to happen if you are sticking one, if you have every single day, you have a discipline to stick to the exact system and rules that most of the time that's likely to generate a profit and likely to do this, right? This is the only way to do it. And so therefore, every single day, your thing should be, I understand now where I'm going wrong. I understand what I'm doing wrong here. Because I'm trying to trade a lot. I'm trying to make a lot of money. I'm like, oh, quick. Buy this, buy that, buy this. Shit. Market's crashing. Get out. Quick. Sell everything. Quick, buy back in. It's like, whoa. And this is what I'm seeing right now on the coaching calls. And so this is one of the reasons why I'm doing this here. Because I'm trying to really help you. And I hope this gives you a really good understanding of what makes a professional trader, right? See, a lot of people I'm seeing on my YouTube videos, they're like, oh, gold didn't keep going down, John. Gold kept going up. You got it wrong. And it's not about being right? It's not about being guessing. When I do my videos on YouTube, which you're watching this on right now, it's all about what? It's all about just giving you general market updates, just giving you general analysis. But when it comes down to a trading pattern, trading system, we need to have the proper rules to find this. Okay, and it's not one system is the be all and end all. This system works for me, and how I do this is I look at the market for 30 minutes per day. Instead of me watching the market, 5-minute charts and so on and so forth for 8 hours a day, I am looking at the market for only 30 minutes per day, looking to get in and hold it for a few days, for a few weeks, to look to get this double here from that through there. And then eventually, once you can start to then build this, you start to get really good at your edge. You're taking a lot of screenshots. You're building momentum and getting really, really, really good with your eye to developing this here. You're starting to get really good with your patience and your discipline, right? You're getting up every day, and it's okay not to take a trade for a week. It's okay if you have a whole month with no trades, because now you understand this template here. You understand what it takes now. You're starting to get better and better and better and better with that. And then through that discipline and slowly momentum every day, now you're getting closer and closer and closer to now having a good 5-year plan of where you can have $1 million in your account, right, in the next 5 years by having this big plan here. But it all starts with, do you even have an edge? Because you don't have an edge, I promise you, most of you guys, and I'm speaking to a lot of people on the phone, most people right now are just getting out because they're freaked out. They're getting back in because they think it's a good idea, or they think this market's going to take off, so they get back in, and it's all over the place. So if you want to be a professional trader and you want to start to do really good money from the markets, now you understand the template and the truth. If you like what you see here, guys, and you would like to take this a lot further, where you need some more help around the actual trading systems, the discipline, maybe holding your hand every single week to hold you through this process here, then this is what I want you to do right now. I want you to go to getjohnshelp.com, getjohnshelp.com. That's an application to my Inner Circle program. The Inner Circle is where I'm actually, I teach you my trading system that I use, and this is what I use every day to trade this. But then also every single week, and potentially every single day, I'm there every day for at least an hour, holding your hand and helping you through the process and answering any questions you have. So if you like this idea, then go to getjohnshelp.com. That's an application form. Go fill out that. But even if not there, now you know the reasons why most of you in the chat box below, most of you that watch these videos are probably struggling, and I speak to so many people that are losing a lot of money because you have it all wrong from there.